Okay, what are you saying, people, and welcome back to another live stream. Now, before we get into this today, make sure you join me on my Telegram channel. Left link to that in the live chat and also the description below. Posting a lot of different training setups there throughout the week, and you don't want to be missing out on that, so make sure you go check all of that out. But like I said, got another live stream for you guys. I'm going to talk you through what's going on in the markets today. And yeah, let's see if we've got any opportunities coming our way. So, first up, we'll start. Oh yeah, guys, make sure that if you're like looking at any pairs, or if you're in any trades, or you got any pairs on your watch list, feel free to share, drop in the chat. We'll look for opportunities together, so feel free to do that. But we're going to start with AUDUSD. Now, as you can see with this one, it had a bit of a move to the upside overnight for this pair. Some fundamental reasons for that one. A nice push to the upside back into this resistance here that we were last week, and we are rejecting that resistance so far. So again, like I said on my weekly analysis for AUDUSD, if you haven't checked that out, make sure you go do so. That I do have a bearish bias on this pair for this week, as long as we stay below this prior support here in the market. As you can see, we consolidated here for a bit, formed a nice area of support. We rejected that as resistance last week, fell to the downside. So for me, as long as we stay underneath this level here, I'm still looking for shorts for AUDUSD, still expecting a move back into these lows down here. So Me personally will be looking for short opportunities for this pair so far. A little bit aggressive for me to get short now. It's at a nice area, nice resistance there, but after that big move there, we might be seeing a little bit of retracement and a bit more continuation to the upside. So I want to see a bit more rejection for AUD/USD back at this resistance here. And then I might jump on later and see if we can get a nice move back into these lows down there. Got this trend line as well, could get a bounce to the upside, maybe a break and retest, something like that. Could be a nice opportunity coming for AUD/USD short. So that's what I'll be looking for AUD/USD for this week. Again, I will change my bias if we start breaking past this barrier here, kind of 0.7100. If we can break through that and get above it, because if I go in the daily time frame for a second, you can see that was prior daily support, now to resistance. If we get back above that, then we might be seeing a little bit more upside, so I won't be too confident shorting the pair anymore. So if price does break above this barrier, I'll probably be on the fence and just stay away from the pair, but as long as we can stay underneath it, I'm looking for shorts. Right now we're falling to the downside a little bit, but I want to see a bit more rejection from this pair, then I can get involved later on. But the main pair on my watch list for today and tomorrow really is EUR/USD. Looking for some shorts for this pair. I do have a little bit of a trend line running through here. Well, not really, just connecting these 2 points. Want to see a bit more tests of a trend line than that. But looking for shorts for AUD/USD. EUR/USD, well, both of those pairs actually. Looking for shorts for EUR/USD today. Nice barrier of resistance here, as you can see. Price support, resistance, nice false break. Resistance again there as well. Big collapse to the downside. And as you can see now, we're back at that same area again. So I think we could be seeing some nice downside for EUR/USD today. Actually, maybe not today, it might come tomorrow, but this week anyway. Of course, we could break to the upside, and I think if we start holding this barrier of resistance as support, so if you were to break to the upside like so and start holding that as support, we might be seeing a bit more upside for EUR/USD. But so far, I'm looking for shorts because we're kind of like trading alongside that level, and see if we can get a nice move into the downside back into 1.18 potentially all the way down there. So I'm looking at shorts for EUR/USD market. So far this morning's a little bit choppy. You can see that price action there from the Asian session into the London session. Not really clean price action there. A bit of a move to the upside. Overall for me the pair is still quite bullish. So I'm not going to jump into shorts too quickly, but I think we could be seeing some nice opportunities. The pair's kind of like squeezing between these two triangles here, two trend lines forming a triangle, two trend lines. So maybe a break of that lower trend line there and a retest could be a nice opportunity, or maybe some nice wick rejections at that upper trend line there could be a nice opportunity as well. So yeah, looking for shorts for EUR/USD to take back down to that 1.18. So that's kind of the main pair I'm focusing on today / tomorrow. Hey Chia, how are you doing? Yeah, no problem. Yeah, EJ worked out. EJ. Worked out pretty well yesterday. Nice shorts on that one. Worked out a little bit better than I thought, to be fair, because pretty much after we saw that nice candlestick development there on the hourly time frame after rejecting that trend line there. Kind of a nice 3 drive pattern there, so 1, 2, 3. Was expecting to see a nice drop, but then it turned out quite well. Really nice bearish momentum breaking through this support. Expecting maybe the market to break through, come back, retest, dilly dally, then see some momentum, but it just collapsed to the downside. So that was a nice trade there to start the week off. For Euro JPY back into the support. Again, looking at this from a daily point of view, it looks like the market might be in a bit of consolidation mode here. So I think I'll be staying away from Euro JPY after that trade for a little bit. And I think Euro USD might want to catch up with Euro JPY because both those pairs do move quite similar. So once we've seen, Euro JPY do this nice move to the downside, Euro USD might want to catch up and do that move as well. So that's what kind of what I'm looking for Euro USD there. GU. GU, I'm also looking for shorts as well for this one. I think this pair could be in for a nice move to the downside. We've had quite a nice big move into the upside here recently, from last week coming up to the highs near 1.4. But I think all of this price action here is just one big liquidity grab. because I don't know if you guys can remember, but either 2 weeks ago, I think, yeah, 2 weeks ago, I was going long on pound USD from around here, looking for a push to 1.4. And as you can see, if we just disregard all of this price action here, this big dump to the downside and the spike back up again, pretty much price has done exactly that. It's moved to 1.4, but first I wanted to do this massive dump and then big spring to the upside. And normally when price does a massive dump like that or a massive spike and then shoots back in the opposite direction, normally does turn out to be a liquidity grab. So I think this price action here is just a big spike. So I think I want to see pound USD come down, retrace a little bit, and then push onto the upside, something like that. Because I do think we're going to see a little bit more DXY weakness in the coming weeks soon. So I do still see Euro USD, Pound USD, AD USD, pushing to the upside quite aggressively in the coming weeks, maybe next month or something. But first I want to see some downside and some retracement, because right now we had a massive push to the downside just before the weekly candle closed last week. And as you can see, we are forming this bearish structure here. So we do have a nice area of resistance. That's not the one thing I wanted to use. We do have this nice area of resistance here around the 1.39 300 area, and I think for me, as long as pound USD stays below this area, I do still see pound USD pushing to the downside back into the 1.38 level, which is like the next psychological level past 1.39, because right now we're trading around the 1.39 level, so I do expect to see us push to the next psychological level, which is 1.38 down there. So my bias for pound USD is the downside, is looking for sells. I'm leaning towards Euro USD a little bit more than pound USD, but for me it's kind of like the same opportunity. They do tend to move in the same direction. So yeah, pound USD for me, I think as long as it stays below this level here, we should see some nice downside for this pair. If we do start creeping back up above this level here, we might be seeing a push back into this level up here, which would look quite bullish there. So I'm not too sure if I will be as confident shorting pound USD if we do have that push. But I think for me, as long as we stay below that resistance there, I do see some more downside back down to 1.38. I agree with that short there. Pound USD there, Chia. I do see more downside for this pair, but I think that was just some volatility from the London session. That's why we did push up. We were ranging, and then we had this massive push up, and I think that was just from the London session kicking in from around 8, pre London to London session. So I think normally what we do see is normally a spike from that session beginning, and then we do see the direction set itself for the day, or if price wants to consolidate. So hopefully that spike could take us up into this resistance, retest that area, seeing some nice wicks with those two candles, and hopefully you can see a dump to the downside there for pound USD. We do have some support here which might cause some struggle for pound. If we do take that dump, you might do something like this and mess around there for a bit, but I still do see 1.38 getting tested for this pair. So like I said, bias is the downside for pound USD, but we do need to stay below this resistance. I mean, I don't know where you entered Chia, so I don't know where your stop loss is, but I think if your stop loss is above that wick there, you should be fine for pound USD, for shorts anyway. Because if we do take out that resistance and take out that wick there, then we probably are just heading to the upside anyway. So if your stop loss is above that wick, you should be fine for the sells there. Euro USD, again, same opportunity, looking for that move to the downside, kind of squeezing in between these two triangles. So looking for a break of that and a push to the downside. USD CAD, I'm looking for selling opportunities for this one, but I want to see the price actually move a little bit higher first. Again, like I said in my weekly analysis, price support here, which kind of held the range, and resistance up there as well. So the market was consolidating between these two barriers, 1.26 and 1.25 500. So I do want to see price come into this level here for USD CAD. And if it can hold there, I will be looking for shorting opportunities to take it back down into this level here. So again, price action is looking quite bearish from the higher time frames, like the daily and the weekly for USD CAD here. As you can see, nice momentum shift to the downside there. So I'm treating these candles here as retracement and looking to capitalize on the follow through on the lower time frames back down into that same support. So looking for short opportunities for USD CAD, but I want to see the price push a little bit higher first into this level. Potentially even push into that resistance will be even a better opportunity because the risk will be greater. So any one of these levels, if price can hold there and give us a nice bearish structure, we'll be looking to go short. So USD CAD is on the watch list. USD CAD is on the watch list, but need a little bit more development and a bit more upside from this pair to get ready to short this pair. So need a bit more from that one, but Euro USD is the main pair I'm focusing on. CAD JPY, we did see a nice dump to the downside for this one. Again, a lot of the JPY pairs, we did see that follow through to the downside there from yesterday. So yeah, really nice move to the downside, which was expected for this one. I just favored Euro JPY a bit more than CAD JPY because the price action was a little bit cleaner. But CAD JPY, I did have my eye on this pair as well yesterday. But yeah, I just went for Euro JPY instead. But as you can see, kind of the same move happened for both of them really. We got this area of resistance here, just taking that across, now acting as resistance there again, and just looking for price to swing to the downside and filling that gap into this support here. So for me, CAD JPY is still in a bearish market, and I think if we can break through this 87 barrier, we can go a lot further to the downside, maybe even back to these lows here, 86 level-ish. Right now we're coming to that support, so I do suspect some upside now for CAD JPY, retrace some of that bearish momentum. But yeah, a break of this could be quite significant and we could see a lot more downside for this pair. But I think a lot of the JPY pairs are in retracement mode now before we do see that follow through. USD CHF, I do see a nice opportunity for this one, for this pair this week. Again, another USD pair. And we're coming into this prior resistance here. As you can see, nice resistance there. Once, second time, broke through, no retest. So this is our first retest of this level here. So we've got some nice fresh area of support, and I do think the market will probably have a reaction towards this area and see some upside, especially after that massive dump we've had there. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 consecutive bearish candles there. So we do need to see some retrace now and see a bullish day sooner or later, and I think it can come from this area of support. You can see if I go into the lower time frames, 4H, we are losing that momentum to the downside, which is a good sign, showing that the bears are starting to drop off and the bulls are starting to come into the market. So I do think we can see some nice upside for USD CHF. Again, similar to Euro USD, kind of squeezing into this support from that trend line there. So maybe potentially a breakout of that could be a really nice opportunity and a retest, something like that. But I do see a lot of upside there for USD CHF if we can break through that trend line and hold on to that daily support. But yeah, for me, this pair, I do see more upside. Overall, the pair is still bearish, so I don't expect to see a massive move to the upside, but I just expect to see a move that is worthwhile to capitalize on and catch some nice pips to the upside though. So USD-CHF, more upside for this pair, very key level coming into, and I think just a bit of retracement, so you might see something like this push to the upside and the market might consolidate and come straight back down again. But you know, capitalize on that move and capitalize on that move will be really nice opportunities for USD-CHF. So for this pair, it would be in my watch list, but it's just the price action is a little bit choppy. So I'm focusing on Euro USD a little bit more than USD CHF, but essentially if USD CHF was to move to the upside and Euro USD was to move down, again we're both capitalizing on the strength of the US dollar, so there's no point for me to really trade both of them, just pick the best one and trade that pair. So that's why I'm focusing on Euro USD. But if I was looking at Euro USD, USD CHF will be one of the pairs that I'll be looking at as well. Another pair that I do have on my watch list is Pound CHF. Actually, I think we could be in for a really nice move to the downside for this pair. Again, I don't normally trade this pair, Pound CHF. I do normally keep away, but I do think we have a really good opportunity on our hands here for this pair. As you can see, the market had quite a big move to the upside recently, and then had all of this period of consolidation. And I think the market is slowly trying to break to the downside and give us quite a big move. So I do still see more downside for pound CHF. I do see us clearing these lows all the way down there and pushing through them. So after those wicks on the weekly time frame, as you can see, all those wick rejections, I think we're just going to break to the downside. So this week, I'm looking for some retracement now back into this area of resistance here, form a nice double top potentially. That would be a really nice opportunity. Push into this area here and then take it down. There is a really key area of daily resistance just above us here, so we might spike into this level here before we drop, which again just makes the risk to reward even better. So if the price does that, that's even better for me, as long as we do still stay below this level, kind of 1.26400. As long as we stay below that level, I will be looking for shorts. But yeah, I do realize that we could come up with a double top there, reject, fall to the downside, so I will be looking for shorts for this one. Again, I think we're in retracement mode now, so I want to see a little bit more upside for this pair, then take this down back down to the 1.25 area. So looking for shorts for pound CHF. Again, this pair needs a little bit more development for me to get involved. Some more upside, so it's a bit on the back burner right now. I'll probably look at it again maybe end of today or tomorrow. But for today, I think only Euro USD is the pair I'm looking to trade. But then pound CHF or USD CAD could present a nice opportunity later in the week. So do have my eyes on those pairs. Gold for this pair, again, like I said in my weekly analysis, I do still see more upside for gold. Big movement to the upside, but then a big movement back down again, so a little bit tricky for this pair. Overall, I think we still do have more upside to cover up into this kind of area here where we saw those wicks around the 1860 area. But for me, gold is just a little bit choppy. This price action is a little bit choppy. I think all of this price action really is just consolidation. So all of this is just consolidation. Eventually, we're going to break, to the upside or to the downside. Break to the upside, then 1860. Break to the downside, probably back down to those lows. But as you can see, the market is just a little bit too choppy and not that clear. There are definitely clearer markets out there. So I'm not really too invested in gold, even though I'm quite confident with the move to the upside. I don't think I will probably trade it unless the price action starts to clear up. Price has come back into this kind of level here. Prior resistance there, now turn support, and it's stalling there. So we might be seeing something like this. Might be seeing something like that happen for gold there, and potentially if it does that, I might try and catch a swing of that move, and that will be probably a nice opportunity. But overall, gold is just a little bit choppy for me. Big move up, big move down, not really a good sign. I'd rather this move down be a bit more retracement like, not so aggressive. But yeah, overall I do still see gold pushing to the upside, but maybe if the price action does clear up, I'll chuck it on the watch list. But for now, just going to be monitoring that pair. Euro or pound strong. Let's see Euro GBP. I mean, for this pair, it's been moving to the downside very well, it's very choppy. But overall price is still bearish for me for this one for Euro GBP. So as long as we stay below this trend line here, as long as we stay below that trend line there, I suspect Euro is going to be weaker than the pound. So I do expect to see the pound be stronger than Euro, unless we start taking out that trend line there. But for me, this market is really choppy. I don't really want to call a reversal on this market because more times than not it doesn't, and just continues in this choppy price action. So for me, looking at the price action here, it looks like Euro is going to be weaker than the pound, or pound's going to be stronger than the Euro. And if we do see that conviction come to the downside, we'll probably see a push back into these lows. So yeah, I do suspect the Euro is going to be weaker. But same goes for if you were to break through this trend line and start creating some higher highs. If we get a daily close, we might be seeing a breakout similar to what we did see here, and then we could see some real strength in the Euro. So it could flip, but as of now, as of what I'm seeing now, it looks like the Euro will be weaker than the pound. But again, like I said, you know, a break of that trend line, everything could flip on its head. The DXY for this one is still looking quite bearish, and I do actually expect the DXY to keep going to the downside here long term. I can still see the DXY pushing, you know, back into this consolidation zone all the way down there, tapping into that area there. So again, long term, I'm bearish on the DXY, but I do suspect the market to retrace a little bit first before having that sell off. Obviously, I could be wrong. We could just see that momentum really kick off. But I do suspect more downside for the DXY. After some retracement, we do have a really nice zone of support and resistance over here. As you can see, nice support there, gave that move to the upside, prior support there before that massive dump, and we had that news. So I'm looking for kind of this opportunity here for the DXY, then take that down, which hopefully will give Euro USD that brief move to the upside, and then really nice sell off to the downside. So looking to buy and sell Euro USD this week, but we might not get all of that price action in 1 week. So could be looking to buy Euro USD next week actually. But yeah, so looking for a brief push to the upside for the DXY. So I do suspect to see some strength in the USD this week. Then that might change towards the end of the week or next week potentially. So I do have my eye on that. Good morning, William. How are you? Hope you are doing well. Welcome back to the stream. You still in your USD JPY position and your USD CHF? Because I remember you said last week you were selling those pairs on the daily, and they did see quite nice moves to the downside. USD JPY still pushing. USD CHF did really take off to the downside there. So looks like really nice trades you caught last week. Pound AUD, we did see some nice conviction to the downside today. Actually overnight really, well no, today, this morning. Again, I was looking to sell Pound AUD last week, but we didn't see that price action form that I wanted. And we actually had quite a big move to the upside, so kind of missed this opportunity to short Pound AUD. We had a nice opportunity. I believe that price action was Monday, massive sell-off, bit of consolidation, massive sell-off again. So Pound AUD for me is still overall bullish. Look at the higher time frames, you know, this wick on the daily could actually pull all the way back up and actually close bullish even. So I do have to be aware of that. Hence why I'm trying to short AUD/USD. Because if that does happen, we should see some weakness in the Aussie dollar. Hopefully take that down again. But like I said, for that momentum that we saw overnight, not really interested in selling it just yet. I want to see a bit more rejection at that resistance and then potentially some sales later on. Nice, yeah. USD JPY is starting to kick off this week. Was consolidating a little bit last week, but yeah, USD CHF big push to the downside recently for that pair. So looks like good opportunities there. USD JPY, I still see the market pushing a little bit further, but we are coming to that support though, so we might mess around for a bit. USD JPY does tend to consolidate a little bit before it does have its breakouts. But yeah, those are great trades there. I do see overall DXY pushing down. So long term, I still do see weakness in the dollar, but first I want to see a bit of retracement, then some conviction to the downside after that retracement. So that is kind of the opportunity I'm waiting for on the Euro USD. Overall, it does look like the market wants to turn bullish for Euro USD, but like I said, I'm waiting to see if we can get a break of that lower trend line. Also nice rejection on that resistance there to get involved in these shorts. EuroCAD is pushing to the upside as well. I think EuroCAD could be actually giving a really nice move to the upside, this pair. I do see us coming back into this high all the way up there. So I am seeing a lot more upside for EuroCAD. It looks like potentially it's giving us a bit of a double bottom here. Price pushing into that area once, testing a second time, having a nice reaction there again. So I do still see more upside for EuroCAD. If this does play out, we do have a really nice range to work with. This support into that resistance up there. So I do think, if we're going to 4H, if we can break through this barrier here, we could be in for a really nice push to the upside for EuroCAD. So yeah, for me, EuroCAD double bottom potentially. So I do see a break to the upside and more upside back to the 1.5 500 mark, and overall potentially a reversal of that bearish trend that we've been seeing for the past few months now, and maybe seeing a bullish trend for the next few months now for EuroCAD. Euro JPY yesterday was quite a nice push. Probably gave a really nice daily signal there as well. A nice bearish daily closure there. For me, Euro JPY is a little bit choppy, but I think if we can take out this support here, which was the support I was selling into on the lower time frames, if we can take out that support, and Euro JPY should be opening up to these lows here potentially, maybe even further into these lows here. So I still do see more downside for Euro JPY at this moment in time. I think we're in retracement mode a little bit on the lower time frames. You can see the market's consolidating there at that support, so you might see a little bit upside first. But yeah, if you can break through this support here, then I think the floodgates will open for Euro JPY there. But yeah, for me, the overall this market is still quite bearish. Rejected that resistance there as well, so could be seeing a really nice breakout to the downside for this pair. So yeah, that was a nice opportunity caught, and still trying to catch EURUSD to the downside. CHF JPY is a little bit of a tricky pair because it is another JPY pair, but it is moving a little bit different to other JPY pairs. We're seeing a lot of conviction to the downside for a lot of the JPY pairs. However, CHF JPY is looking like it wants to break to the upside. As you can see, we had a break of this trend line here, and price actually giving us some higher highs and some higher lows here. So I think CHF is just strong overall, hence why we're pushing to the upside here. And again, CHF JPY is probably not one of my better pairs to trade anyway. But I still do see more upside for this one, just because I still suspect CHFs to be strong in the upcoming weeks, upcoming months. Potentially even go back to highs again for CHF JPY, which is another reason why I do see pound CHF pushing to the downside a lot more. So looking for a bit more retracement, double top there, that barrier of resistance, and we'll short this back down again into those lows at around 1.25. Okay. Yeah, I think it could be building up into the daily soon if you can break through that support. But yeah, momentum is definitely to the downside in Euro JPY there. Entity USD. Yeah, NZUSD for me is looking like it wants to break to the upside here. All of this consolidation at this support is making me think that price wants to break to the upside. I was bearish on NZUSD for all this price action here, but we've had so many attempts at price trying to break through this support. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attempts at price trying to break through this support. And it might be the time that NZUSD finds some strength and pushes again to the upside. If we go on the 4H there, really nice, potentially a higher low there as well. Trendline support, as you can see, one test there, second test there, and the third test there. So yeah, I do agree there. Ends the USD because it potentially looks like we're forming higher lows, and we could actually be breaking to the upside. We had similar price action on Euro USD as well, when we had that push to the upside not too long ago. Where's Euro USD? There as well, when we're trying to break through this support, failed to do so, formed some higher lows, pushed to the upside, and USD CAD as well a long time ago, failed to break through the support from some higher lows and broke to the upside. So NZD is giving us that same price action again. And yeah, if we do continue this, then we should be breaking to the upside. If we do find resistance and break through that support and form a lower low past that mark there, then we'll probably break to the downside. But with that conviction there, I think NZD might be trying to push to the upside for this one. Might take its time though, because it does have a lot of area of resistance where people will be trying to sell NZD at and try and take the price lower. So there is kind of numerous areas of resistance that could keep price pushing down. So it could take some time, but yeah, if it does keep with that price action, I do suspect NZD to be breaking to the upside. Pound NZD was seeing some nice movement to the downside. I did say my weekly analysis as well for this pair that I do expect to see some downside and some retracement. We do have this key level of resistance here. Well, was the resistance, now turned support. So I said potentially might retrace into this level here and then push on again. As you can see, we haven't quite tested that level, so I can still see a little bit more downside. Come and test that level there, then maybe push on again to the upside. Overall, price action here is still bearish, so I would not be looking to buy that at all. But I can still see pound NZD doing something like this, retracing, and then maybe continue to the upside. Because if I do zoom out onto the daily, you can see pound NZD is still very much a bullish market. We've still been pushing to the upside for the past few months now, and I still do see more upside again for this pair. But if it does start to reverse, break back below, break through that support, then we could be seeing a really big reversal for this pair, because all this price action is very choppy and does give me an impression that we could be seeing quite an aggressive reversal soon, but I don't think that's in the cards just yet. So yeah, a little bit more retracement for this one, maybe into this area, and then price comes back down again. Pound JPY, we did see a similar move happen again to this pair, again another JPY pair, a nice push to the downside. Again, I did have this pair in my weekly analysis as well, and we were suspecting to see some downside for this pair. You can see if I go into the hourly time frame here, we see a nice break and retest of that support and resistance, and a nice collapse to the downside back into this area here. So overall, for me, the market is still bearish. I think I still see more downside again for this pair. We might be in a bit of retracement mode now and then come down again. We do have this kind of nice area of supply there, so it could retrace it into that and then see a nice dive to the downside. And in that case, I think 151 could be the next target for this pair. But overall, you know, price is looking bearish. If we're on the daily time frame as well, you can see really nice bearish candle closure yesterday, really confirming momentum is back with the bears. So yeah, I still do see more downside for pound JPY, and potentially a move back down into 151 again. AUD/JPY is still pumping to the downside as well. It's starting to lose a little bit of steam, so I think potentially we might be seeing some upside come through for this pair, depending if AU breaks through the resistance as well. Because if the AU starts to turn bullish, then there's a good chance AUD/JPY will turn bullish as well. But overall, you can see for this pair, we're kind of moving in a little bit of a descending channel here. But I connect the lows and the highs of those wicks. Here you can see price moving to the downside in that channel there. So I think potentially price will continue that price action until it breaks one of those two resistance. If it breaks through the lower trend line, then we could be seeing that dump happen and seeing a push back into the lows. But if you do see a break of that trend line to the upside, I think potentially price might want to have a bigger retracement there. I wouldn't say price is turning bullish, but I would say the market wants to have a bit of retracement, because as you can see We've had quite an aggressive reversal there to the downside. So I think we could see some upside happen first before continuing. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, well, I'm still actually looking for shorts for Euro USD, to be fair. I'm still actually looking for shorts. We did see yesterday some activity to the downside there, but I want to see a little bit more happen for Euro USD. I can see a push back down into this area here, and then maybe even into the 1.18 mark down there. So again, overall for me the market's still a little bit bullish. We did see that nice momentum come to the downside yesterday, so that was a nice drop there. It didn't really kick on though. It's kind of holding out that trend line, so if you can break to the downside here, I can see a bit more downside for Euro USD back into that level there, then potentially into 1.118, which is the pair that I'm looking for to see a move to the downside. Okay, that's great. That's great to hear, actually. That's great to hear. I mean, I'm still looking to get involved in Euro USD. But yeah, I want to see price maybe clear that trend line, because it does look like it's retracing a little bit. Pound USD might have a bit clearer price action, to be fair, coming into this resistance here. Yeah, I do agree, William. Price in Euro USD is a little bit choppy there. Pound USD for me is a little bit clearer actually for Pound USD, because it has a nice free double top potential resistance here. Test it once, second time, and then we could be seeing the market sell off. But overall, it's kind of like the same move, so I won't be trading both of them. But I still do see Pound USD and Euro USD retracing back down again, and then conviction to the upside later on. So I do think for these pairs we could be reversing and turning bullish again. Looking at the weekly time frame, so a bit more of a long-term view. It looks like Pound USD is failing to break through these lows here, forming a little bit of a double bottom, and we could be seeing price break into the upside there. So I think from a long-term point of view, Pound USD could be pushing on. So I will be looking to get into that long buy soon. But for me now, I think some bit more downside for Pound USD. Same for Euro USD as well. Now I think those buys could be coming in maybe later this week or next week. Yeah, CAD JPY was a really nice sell. Actually, probably better than Euro JPY, which is the pair that I did trade yesterday. A bit more pips there to the downside, but overall, great price action there. Same trade pretty much there. Just expecting that JPY strength to come in at some key psychological levels and key resistance levels on the daily time frame. Rejected that really well, and as you can see, a nice dump to the downside back into that support there. So like I said on my weekly analysis, I do suspect moving to these lows here, but if we can clear that support, which price is trading at now, and I do see a move into this support here, which are on the 86,200 mark. So you can see there, price action is quite clear. Not much retracement in that zone. Slight retracement there. So I think if price can break through that barrier, I do see a move back down to 86,200. So I think CAD JPY, there could be some more selling opportunities for this pair later in the week. I'll probably let price settle first at that support. It did have quite a big move there, so might want to do some retracement, might want to consolidate for a bit. So let price settle first, and then can work out the direction for CAD JPY for the rest of the week. I've noticed that, to be fair. I haven't noticed that, to be fair. So, well, I mean, I'll be looking to for that, to be fair. I'd probably say I take majority of my trades in the US session. So, I think that's a good thing for me, to be fair. But we'll find out. Okay, so a bit more conservative. I mean, yeah, if that works for you, that's great, because I have noticed that some of my trades, I do get a little bit too excited with my take profit. I do sometimes put the take profit a little bit too far, so price does move my direction, doesn't quite get to my TP, and then reverses. So I have been in that situation a few times. So I'm kind of trying to make my TP less aggressive. Um, so I can actually bank, more profit and don't see the profit just reverse on me. So yeah, that is definitely something that I am working on. But yeah, at the end of the day, the most important thing is to bank your profit, really, because that's what actually grows your account, or makes you the money, not just having floating profit, which could be taken away from you at any time, really. So yeah, bank and profit, definitely important. And if you're making money, you know, with a tighter TP, then it doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, for me, the most important thing about my trading is um, definitely my risk to reward, and pips. So I do make sure that my wins, definitely outweigh my losses, which is what keeps me, in the game, keeps me trading. So although I don't want to be too aggressive with my take profits, I have to make sure that I'm not also too lenient as well. I mean, why not, William? Why not join it? See what all the fun is about. I mean, that's literally what demo is for, to be fair. So feel free. Hi, Alira. How are you doing? Welcome to the live stream. Hope you are doing well. Any pairs that you're looking at, any pairs you're trading, let us know. Drop it down in the chat. We'll take a look at it, see what opportunities potentially we could be having. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Definitely understanding that conservative is the right word. Don't want to be too aggressive. You be grateful for the pips that the market gives you, because the same pips it could be giving you is the same pips it could be taken away from you as well. Sell CAD JPY. I wouldn't sell CAD JPY as of right now. For me, CAD JPY is back at support, so I would not be selling into support. We did see quite a nice dump to the downside, so unless you're saying you sold CAD JPY, then great move to the downside there. But personally, for me, CAD JPY is back at support here. So I probably want to see a break of that support, and then a move into that 86 to 100 level. So that potentially is the sell opportunity we could be looking there for CAD JPY. But nonetheless, back at support. If anything, probably see some temporary buys to the upside, and then maybe can take that back down again. But for me, I would not be selling CAD JPY at that support. Yeah, I use IC Markets. I've got a link to that in my description if you want to check that out. But yeah, that's the broker I use. Thank you, much appreciated. Yeah, sure. I'll take a look at UNZD right now. So Euro NZD, a little bit choppy this pair, definitely not my favorite pair to look at so far the past few weeks now, because you can see the price action is a little bit choppy. We're definitely back at resistance again for this pair. As you can see there, this 1.70500 level, price has worked into this level many times. At the same time, price is giving us lower highs here, but also giving us higher lows as well. So you can see price is pushing to the upside, but also pushing to the downside. So Euro NZD is kind of squeezing between that resistance and support here. So far for Euro NZD, I do suspect price is going to eventually break to the upside. It looks like price is trying to do that, for the past few months now. So I do have that long-term bias that price will push to the upside. We do have this support here, which price is failing to break through. So I think for Euro NZD, the next opportunity is probably a move back into that resistance there. Again, like I said, it's just a little bit of a choppy pair. It's been fluctuating quite a lot. So that is one of the reasons why I'm not kind of touching the pair too much. But if I was to call an opportunity, it would probably be a swing back up to that 1.70400 level. So basically that resistance there from that support. A nice work to the downside, confirming that we did not break through that support. If I go on the 1 hourly time frame, you can see nice momentum there. Overall, we are still rejecting that. But yeah, if we can hang on to this level here, 1.69400, then I can see a push back into that resistance up there and just continue this range here for the market of up, down, up, down, up. So yeah, my bias for Euro NZD is to the upside. I think we might have a little bit of a trend line here as well. If I connect that wick there. So as you can see, first test there, second test there. Third test there with a slight false breakout, and I've come back into that trend line there as well. So with that trend line and that support as well, could give Euro NZD the kick it needs to have that push back into that resistance. But I'll probably take profit quite quickly there with Euro NZD because it is a choppy market, and from recent price action you can see it could just change direction quite quickly and quite quickly reverse on you. So if it can hang on to that support, hang on to that trend line there, then I do see some nice buys back into that resistance, maybe even a breakout. But yeah, I probably wouldn't look past that resistance there. So yeah, that's probably what I'm suspecting there for Euro NZD. If it was to break through that support, break through the trend line, then we could see a lot more downside. But for now, looking at the daily, looking at the 4 hour, looking like the market wants to turn bullish. So maybe some retracement, price come back down, double bottom at that trend line, double bottom at that support in the hourly time frame. Then you can look for some nice buying opportunities. So that is what I'm seeing there for Euro NZD. Yeah, sure, Alira, what explanation do you need? Are you looking at any pairs or yeah, whatever question, just feel free to shoot. Euro CHF. Let's take a look at that pair. I haven't seen this pair in a long time. So, wow, so Euro CHF has really been falling to the downside. Okay, so this pair is extremely bearish right now. And yeah, still forming those lower highs. So we come back into this kind of area here. Price support there on the 4H. We return there, pushing to the downside there again. I mean, I personally wouldn't short Euro CHF because it's coming back into these lows here. I probably would like to have shorted it from back there or back there. But yeah, if we can take out that support, we can go a lot further. This pair is very, very bearish, looking at the higher time frames coming into the lower time frames. So definitely would not be looking to buy this pair anytime soon. But yeah, I just wouldn't sell it just because it's coming into those lows. Obviously, it could push on, but I probably wouldn't have taken it from back here, then sell it back down. Or even there, there'll probably be a better opportunity up there. So yeah, Euro CHF is looking very bearish here. Looking at the higher time frames on the 4H, it's just been falling. I mean, anyone trading any pullback strategies, you know, Euro CHF would have been a great pair over the past few weeks now. I know it's not very a popular pair. I don't like trading it too much, really. But yeah, if you do break through that support, I can see another leg to the downside, maybe some retracement. But yeah, overall, more downside for this pair. And I do suspect more strength in the CHF, so I can still see a lot more downside for Euro CHF. Also, Pound CHF is another pair I'm looking to short. Again, I want to see a bit more retracement for this one, coming to that resistance now to short Pound CHF, sorry. Back to the downside, back down to 1.25. So again, Pound CHF short. Pound CHF definitely hasn't been moving as freely as Euro CHF because Euro has been weaker than the pound, but I think it can do some catch up very, very soon. So I'll probably rather trade Pound CHF just because it hasn't really touched the lows yet. 1.25 hasn't touched the lows yet, so I'll probably favour trading this pair over Euro. But again, if you do still see that strength in the CHF come in, which I do expect it to do so, then yeah, we could be seeing some really nice opportunities and really nice rallies to the downside for both of them. Hello, how are you? Welcome back to the live stream. Hope you are doing well. Any pairs you're looking at, feel free to drop it in the comments down below. We'll take a look at them, see what's going on with those pairs, any opportunities coming our way. But yeah, like I said, the main pairs I'm focusing on is kind of Pound USD and Euro USD, looking for shorts on those pairs. Euro USD a little bit more choppy than the pound, but I still think for both of them, you know, it's either we both push up or they both take a dive. So we'll see what happens there. But I think we could be seeing some nice opportunities coming into US session maybe, or maybe even tomorrow, depending if price wants to just consolidate for today. Nice. I mean, yeah, just put you know, put the work into it. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking to short Pound USD as well. I'm not short just yet, but if you can reject that resistance a little bit more, maybe see a really nice shift of momentum, something like we had yesterday, really nice bearish candle there, then yeah, I will be looking to short Pound USD to the downside back into 1.38 there as well. So Pound USD is definitely my watch list as well for some shorts. Same with Euro USD as well, but yeah, quite not ready for the shorts just yet. Mate, you guys are cheating on me. What's that about? So for expecting more from you. Expecting more from you too. Nah, I'm just joking. You guys are free to do what you want. Yeah, yeah, just messing with you, just messing with you. Yeah, sure. Yeah, Eurocat. I'll take a look at that one. What time frame, John, are you looking to trade Eurocad on? Looking intraday or looking to swing some trades? It's not you, it's me. That was a good one. I'm not gonna lie, that was a good one. I hope he makes you happy though. I hope he makes you happy, William. Ooh. Intro. Okay, so Eurocad, for me, it's coming into some resistance here. I do suspect there's resistance to eventually break because I do think we're kind of going for a reversal on the daily, so we could be breaking to the upside. Um, you can see we're coming to into that resistance there, so potentially there could be some nice short-term shorting opportunities. We do have this level that we just broke there with that 4 hour close a couple candles ago. So I think we could either see one or two opportunities, price come down, reject this area, and then see a move into that resistance, or we could see the reverse happen and price push into that resistance and come down and retest that. So that's probably what I'll be looking for Eurocad. Right now it's kind of in the middle of nowhere for me a little bit. It's just below that key resistance and just kind of above that mid level, kind of 1.48400 and 1.48900. So you want to see price retrace back down to this area, then there could be some nice short-term buys back into that resistance. Or like I said, the opposite could happen. We could push on into that resistance and then you can look for some short-term sales back into that level there. So Eurocad in the middle of nowhere, so right now I wouldn't touch it, probably just observe, see what happens, and maybe in the US session we could see some volatility come in, push into that resistance or push into that support. Then there could be some nice buys, take it back up into that level, or some nice sales to take it back into that level. So that's what I would be looking for. I do suspect this resistance to eventually break though, so maybe if you're looking for buys, you could potentially maybe leave a little bit on to trickle to see if it can break through that resistance. But of course you don't have to if you're trading intraday, but because the daily looks like potentially we might be reversing, I can see momentum going to break through that resistance there, potentially. So do be aware of that. But yeah, these two levels are probably levels that you want to have your eyes on. As you can see, draw that in the 4H, do that in the 4H as well. Come into one of those two levels, can look to buy and sell, wait for some nice shift of momentum, some nice wicks, price rejecting those two levels. And could be looking at some nice shorts from up here, or some nice longs back into that zone down there. So hopefully that could be a nice opportunity for Eurocad later on. I mean, yeah, it's all about baby steps, really. It's all about baby steps. You don't need to jump into a massive account straight away. That's definitely not gonna be sustainable in the long run. You want to work your way up. Um, but yeah, it's all start with the baby steps. You start beginner, intermediate, advanced. And you work your way up from there. There's no rush. Your only competitor is yourself, really. So don't really worry about too much what others are doing. Just focus on yourself. Yeah, definitely, it's definitely the skill that matters. Because you could have 100k in your account, and if you've got no skill, you can lose that 100k, that same day that you funded, really. So it's definitely skill. Okay, that's good, William. You see some value from my live stream. That's what I like to hear. Yeah, yeah, no problem, John. Happy to help. Happy to help. Euro USD still looking bullish here, so we might be pushing to the upside for this one. If you can reject that trend line, then there could be some nice sales coming in. But so far there's not much there. We could actually break into the upside, back into the highs, actually potentially for this pair, which would mean that my shorts won't be valid anymore. So I probably would just put Euro USD back on the sidelines. Pound USD might follow, but Pound USD is still below my resistance there. So if we can keep up rejecting that pair, see some nice momentum, something like that, it could be some really nice shorts back to the downside again for Pound USD. Okay, that's very good. That's very good. Yeah, well, I'm happy my inputs can be of some help. Okay, yeah, that's true as well. The psychological aspect will be different on a 100k account than a small account. Yeah, definitely. Because you could still have the skill, but then you could lack the psychological skill as well, and then that could make you lose the 100k as well. Yeah, because for me, how do you say it? Yeah, the psychology for trading is probably more important than the skill, to be fair, in my opinion. So like 70% psychology, 30% skill, especially if you got large sums of money in your account as well. It's probably a lot more psychology than skill when you got large sums. Small sums, you can just have a lot of skill and be really good. You know, make 2% a day really. But when you got 200k in your account, it's a different ball game. Gold is looking like potentially we could be seeing an opportunity for this one. Yeah, William, did you end up going long on gold on Thursday? Was it last week Thursday? Did you end up going long? Yeah, yeah, very very true. I mean, when it's like big sums of money like that, you know, it's very very different. I mean, probably your whole strategy needs to change when you've got sums of money like that in your account. Okay, fair enough. Um, I mean, I still do have that long bias for gold. Um, But yeah, it's just a little bit tricky. It's just a little bit tricky. Because I can see sort of this happening. But then at the same time, it's just a little bit tricky because gold looks like, because I've just drawn this box around it, looks like price kind of consolidating as well. It could actually break through that support, come into these lows again. So I think I might be putting gold on the back burner for a little bit on the sidelines until it starts to clear up. But yeah, I do still think I've got that long bias to the upside. I can still see gold pushing into these areas here. But yeah, it's just not vibing with it really as of right now. Maybe if we do see DXY take another dive, which looks like it is trying to do here, we could see gold pushing up, which probably means that Euro USD is trying to push up, Pound USD is trying to push up as well. I think if Euro USD breaks through that upper trend line there, I think I might just put Euro USD in the sidelines and probably look elsewhere for opportunities because we could be going a lot further. We well could come into that resistance up there, reject it, come back down again, but especially for all that momentum down the daily, it might just be Euro USD wants to break through that and push into these areas up here potentially. Yeah, so we'll see how these hourly candle closes. If they do break through that resistance, yeah, I'll probably put Pound USD. Actually, no, I wouldn't, to be fair, because I've drawn that resistance on the 4-hourly candle closure, so I want to see how the 4H candle closes. If it does close above these areas, then yeah, I'll probably put a Pound USD on the sidelines again. I still can see a push to the downside, of course. We're still underneath that level. A bullish candle could easily flip bearish. We've still got 37 minutes before that candle closes, but I just don't like how the DXY looks. The DXY looks like it might want to move down a little bit more before it moves up. We'll take a look at Pound CHF now. I mean, for me, I want to see Pound CHF push a little bit more to the upside, then come down again. But then potentially we could be forming, another lower high here in the market. We've got one there, and potentially we could have another one there as well. So if that's the case, we well could be pushing to the downside from there. If that is the lower high, if this 4H candle could pull back up and then come up to this level, reject it, and then come down again, that's what I'm looking for. But potentially, yes, we could push on from there. In that case, we could be having a 4H possible opportunity to come down into these lows, because one way or another I do expect Pound CHF to be back at these lows here, potentially by the end of the week. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, my favorite opportunity is for price to come up there. But the market can do whatever it wants to do, so it might not do that, and we could just get a lower high there and then drop to the downside. Okay, well, when did you go? When did you go long from here? Or was it yesterday or something? But for me, I still suspect Pound CGF to go down. Same with Euro CHF, which we were just looking at a minute ago as well, because you know Euro CHF, Pound CHF, there's not too much difference between them, because Euro and Pound do tend to move quite similar. Obviously Euro CHF has taken off to the downside a lot better than Pound, but I think Pound can catch up soon, so that's what I'm looking for. Okay, yeah, so it looked like the price was forming that high low to push on there. But yeah, yes, it can do, but I just want price to retrace a little bit more. But like I said, the 4H candle still got like 1 point, no, what would I say? The 4H candle still got 2 hours and 30 minutes before it's about to close, so a lot could happen in that time. 1.25842. Okay, so somewhere around there then. So yeah, it makes sense. Price came up, probably was showing some nice profit there, but then it did pull back. So yeah, I can see why. Pound, I mean, we still could hold on to this support here. We could still hold on to that support and push on into that area there, which is what I'm talking about. But you know, we'll see how the 4H candle closes, and I'll probably make my judgment from that. But so far, yeah, I wouldn't call anything just yet for Pound CHF. But yeah, Euro CHF, you know, is actually pushing through that support there actually. Yeah, Euro is definitely pushing through that support there. So it looks like, William, yeah, you're right. It looks like we will see that rally to the downside. I mean, the pair was looking bearish pretty much in all time frames, and it's just still leaking to the downside as well. Nice rejection of that area, and then we're seeing that conviction come into play now. So yeah, I mean, we could still pull back up, but the momentum is definitely to the downside for Euro CHF, and that's why I do suspect Pound CHF to follow. But yeah, like you said, Pound is a little bit strong. Which broker? I'm not sure actually, because the broker I use doesn't have DXY actually. IC Markets doesn't think has DXY. I mean, the broker I'm using right now does for I think what's it called? Is it Oanda or something? Oanda, the broker on TradingView. I think they have it as well. But yeah, the brokers that I use don't have DXY on the MT4. Pound USD long hit TP. Okay, was it that resistance up there then? The market did find some nice support there. We're seeing that momentum really kick in there to the upside. So looks like a nice push there. I mean, I'm looking to short from that area here. But yeah, it's looking quite bullish, so we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, that was a nice opportunity there on the 1H. Now I'm looking to see if it can turn around and come back down. Euro's trying to break to the upside there. AUD still looking to push up again. Again, like I said, for this one, I still do have that bearish bias, but I'm putting it on the sidelines just because of that momentum that we saw, because of those announcements that we had overnight for the Aussie dollar. Big push to the upside, back into that resistance there. Of course, it's a nice place to sell because looking at this on the daily time frame, you potentially could still drop lower, but price is having a hard time to push lower. So it's giving me signs that AUSD might want to push on a little bit. Like I said, if it was to break past this point here, I'll probably just leave the pair alone because we could be pushing a lot further to the upside. I mean, this pair overall is still quite bearish, but we might see a little bit more upside first for this pair. Yeah, it does look like we're seeing a lot of pound strength in these markets. Across a lot of pairs, pound CAD is pumping to the upside. I did say for this one on my weekly analysis that I do suspect to see a push to the upside from this support here, but I do suspect it to come back down and potentially turn bearish again. But I'm not too sure if that will happen if that pound strength keeps on coming through this week. If you do see it, maybe a break of that trend line, then potentially we could go a lot further. Of course, you've got the resistance up here. Price might want to go and retest again. But yeah, pound CAD is bullish here from the day in the 4H, and I think that momentum will probably take us into this area here. Then depending what we do there, we might come straight back down or try and break out and go further to the upside. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, it's not my watch list, and it's not a pair that I'm looking to get involved in just yet. USD CHF pushing to the downside quite aggressively as well. Again, we'll see how that 4H candle closes. We've still got 2.5 hours. I wouldn't short USD CHF because of where it is. It could still push on, but I don't like it being that support because we could reject it and come back up again. But momentum is definitely with the bears with this one, and it looks like we've just cleared that support there, especially with that 4H candle closure there. Looks like we just cleared that support, closed below, nice wick to the upside, and now we're seeing the conviction to the downside there. So overall, pair still bearish, hourly still pumping to the downside. Yeah, I wouldn't short it, but yeah, looking very bearish here, and definitely seeing that strength in the CHF come through. Pound CHF not so much, but I suspect Euro CHF is falling. And DXY is looking quite bearish as well. Could be coming back into these lows here. Might see some more upside from this level here though. But like I said, looking at that daily and the weekly time frame for the DXY, you know, we might just take out that support and continue right to the downside, because I can still see the DXY coming into these lows here. Again, a bit more of a long-term bias, but you know, if we take that information onto other pairs like Euro USD, Pound USD, we could be seeing some really nice bullish runs to the upside for those pairs, and we can just look to, you know, buy another pullbacks, you know, look to swing those pairs. It could be some nice opportunities. 0.916. Oh, that's all the way up there. That's a great entry. Yeah, that's definitely one of the benefits of trading the higher time frames there. If you do catch the right direction, you know, you could, you know, really sit in a trade and really take out that swing, you know, because that is, you know, a great entry from around that area there, and it's just falling to the downside. potentially could come all the way down to these lows here as well. I mean, USD is weak. CHF I can still see being strong for the next coming weeks / months. So with that coming in, you know, I can still see USD CHF coming all the way back down to these lows here. I mean, William, at least it's growing, mate. At least it's growing. Doesn't matter if it's slow. At least it's growing, because most people's counts don't grow. I don't know the statistic, but something like 90%, is it? Or 95? Or something of people in Forex or financial markets, you know, pretty much lose their money or all their money or something like that. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's something along those lines. So yeah, as long as it's growing, you know, that's a success. That's definitely a success there. USD CAD, again, another pair that I'm looking at to get short on. I want to ride that bearish momentum from the DXY, but like I said, for this one I want to see a little bit more upside back into this level here first, and take it back down into the support down there. Then potentially, if we do break through that resistance, then I will be looking to go short from around here to take it back down into those same lows. So I still do see more downside for USD CAD. But like I said to you guys earlier, I want to see a bit more retracement back into this level here, and then, you know, I'll start monitoring USD CAD a lot more closely, looking for some nice entries to take that back down again. But for me, it's just a little bit too early from a technical point of view. But even if price does push into that resistance, the risk to reward is just simply greater, so it makes the trade a lot worthwhile. Because I can still see price pushing to the downside back to the lows. You can see really nice structure there on the daily. So just looking to capitalize on that retracement, take it back down again, either from that level or from that level up there. So USD CAD do have my eyes on, but probably later this week, maybe a Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. And looking for an opportunity to short that down. Pound is looking very bullish there, and likewise Euro USD as well. I would say where do I sign up? That's what I would say. Where do I sign up? I'll give you that £100 straight. Do cash, credit card, anything. Don't have to work again. to be fair, you'll be the first alien in my live stream, so, you know, that's progress there. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if the banks have something like that, to be fair. I would not be surprised. There's definitely information they are keeping from us. Mate, I've been sussed out. Been sussed out. I should have kept quiet. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I can definitely imagine there's a different way to trade without technical analysis or any type of analysis or fundamental analysis. There's probably some like algorithm or something. I might describe it in the future. Something you can just like print that tells you exactly where the market's going to go, because someone is putting in the data. Someone has to know beforehand where the market is going to go, or access to the computer that does that. But until that day, we still got to draw our trend lines and support and resistance. Yeah, I have heard about that, to be fair. I have heard about people trading in line with the moon and stuff, with the phases of the moon. Yeah, it seems crazy. But it just goes to show really that, you can literally have a strategy with anything, and as long as you're consistent with it, and if it does, have, if it is correct, you will win if you're consistent with it over a period of time. I mean, I haven't done any reading up on it. I've just heard of that. So yeah, I might look into it, because it is just crazy, and I bet there's other ways as well that I just haven't heard of as well. But yeah, guys, I do have 15 minutes left of the stream, so if any of you guys are looking at any pairs or whatnot, any trades, or you got any pairs that you want my opinion on, feel free to let me know. Drop it down in the chat. We'll take a look at it, and yeah, see if you've got any opportunities coming there. But so far, pound USD, the main pairs I'm looking at, but looks like we might be seeing them break to the upside, and if they do that, Yeah, I won't be so keen on trading those pairs anymore. So we'll see what happens with those pairs. But pound USD looking quite bullish, and Euro USD looks like it's doing the same thing as well. So yeah, might not be seeing opportunities for those pairs. Yeah, it does seem a little bit off, to be fair. But I mean, they probably just understand it, completely. And if they can understand it, then use it to their advantage. Um, then yeah, so be it. Let them trade that way. But yeah, to be fair, I'm quite interested in just learning how different people trade and maybe see if I can add stuff to my game or not. Pick part other people's ideas and stuff, bring it into my strategy, and try and just understand more of the markets basically. But yeah, some things will work for you, some things will don't. But yeah, I definitely need to understand it a lot more. Watch this is basically pound USD, Euro USD. I do have USD CAD as well. I'm looking for sell opportunities at this area here. So I want USD CAD to push on a little bit more. So I will be looking to see if I can short USD CAD, if it can come up to this area, short it back down into that support, or push up into this area. Now I look to short it back down. So pound USD, I'm looking for sells, but if it does break through that barrier, then I probably would just put it on the sidelines again. Same for Euro USD. Euro USD looks like it might be breaking out of that trend line. So if it does do that, then Euro USD will probably go on the sidelines as well. I wouldn't say I wouldn't trade Euro USD this week. I'll just probably wait to see what it does next. And then if it starts breaking to the upside like that, I'll just leave it alone. If it starts coming down again, then I might be looking for some opportunities tomorrow. So yeah, if it does break through the trend line, I'll put it on the sidelines for the rest of the day. But yeah, USD CAD, I want to see a bit more retracement back into that zone. Pound CHF is another pair on the watch list, but like I said, I want to see price come up, retest this resistance here, then I'll probably look to short pound CHF back down again. It well could not do that. It might just take a dump from this level here. If it does that, in that case, I want to see the market push to the downside, come back up again, and then I'll look to take it back down. But my bias for pound CHF is definitely to the downside. I can see price coming back down to these lows, back down to 1.25. So yeah, I'm looking at shorts for pound CHF. It would be great to see a push into this level here to short it back down, but if it doesn't do that, and it takes a little bit of a dive from the area it is now, I'll look to see if we can get a bit of retracement, and I'll look to take it on. I'll look to take it on the next leg to the downside after that. So if something like that can happen, that is very poorly drawn. So yeah, something like that. If you can come down, retrace a little bit, and then take it to the downside. So yeah, pound CHF shorts back down to 1.25. USD CAD shorts back down to 1.24 400. Euro USD shorts, but it doesn't look like they all will be happening, and pound USD shorts as well. So those are the four pairs that I'm looking at so far this week, but it might change depending if price action changes. Yeah, I do agree. Gold there bullish. I do suspect more upside for gold. For me, gold right now is kind of like an area of consolidation. So I've just drawn a box around the price action of the past kind of week, well, not week, but like 3 or 4 weeks actually. But yeah, I've drawn a box around that price action for me because the price is kind of just consolidating now. I do suspect gold to break to the upside. It looks like it might be holding on to this support, and if it can do, I do see another drive back into that resistance there, but I think only when we do break through this resistance we can see that breakout happen and push into that 1860 level up there. So yeah, I do suspect more upside for gold. Again, it's a little bit choppy for me, so it's not on my watch list and I'm not really looking to trade it. But if I was to do so, I will be looking for buys to take it back into that resistance there, because my bias is to the upside for gold, and I can see a little bit more upside into that 1860 area. So yeah, I do agree, bullish for gold there. That is very true. You are the only daily trader. Daily traders are not very popular in this day and age. It's the intraday traders is where the hype's at. So yeah, you do provide a different dynamic to the stream, which I am grateful for. Hi Jackson, how are you? Hope you are doing well. Yeah, sure. I'll take a look at pound USD now. Pound USD, like I've been saying for this pair, I've been looking for selling opportunities for pound USD to take this back down into this 1.38 support. However, we are looking quite bullish right now for pound, and I said as long as we can stay below this resistance here, I will be looking for shorts for pound USD. I have drawn this resistance on a 4H time frame, so I will be waiting for the 4H candle closure. So this candle here, the 4H candles to close. We've still got roughly about 2 hours left before that candle closes. So although it does look very bullish right now, it could still pull back and close underneath this level, which will mean that the shorts are still on for me. But yeah, like I said, if we do break through this resistance, we could see pound USD push further on, yeah, back into these highs. And if that's the case, if we do break through this resistance, then I'll probably suspect pound USD to do something like that, push on, pull back, and then continue to the upside there. So we could be looking at some nice sales to the downside, but if we do break through that, then we'll probably see a push back into those highs. So that is what I'm looking at for pound USD. You can see we are looking quite bullish there with that candle there. So the shorts might not be on the cards anymore, but we'll see how the next 4H candle closes. Like I said, we still got 2 hours left, and a lot can happen in 2 hours on a 4H candle. So we'll see what happens for that. But yeah, if we do break through this barrier here, which we are doing the hourly, but I wouldn't, because I drew this on the 4 hour time frame, I'm not going to take it as a breakout just yet. But if we do keep that momentum up, then we probably will trickle to the highs up there. So I'm personally looking to short pound USD. So I'll be waiting to see how that 4H candle closes. If it does break through it, I'll put pound USD on the sidelines, because there's a good chance we could push back into that resistance. So if you're looking to take advantage of that opportunity, that could be on the cards for you. But yeah, we'll see what happens when that 4H candle closes, and that will determine my verdict, either if we're going down or potentially up. And similar thing for Euro USD as well. This one not as bullish as the pound, but still looks like it's trying to break through this trend line here. And if that's the case, yeah, I'll probably put it on the back burner as well, unless we can see some momentum coming right back down. Maybe break through this trend line, retest it, something like that. That could be some nice selling opportunities there. But yeah, at this moment in time, I'll be leaving Euro USD alone. It is pulling back quite nicely though, but yeah, I want to see some momentum coming in first before I get excited. But pound USD, pound is definitely stronger than euro right now, so we are seeing that push up. You can see that by euro GBP, it's pushing to the downside. But yeah, so that's my verdict there for pound USD. Either potential buys or sells, but just want to see how that 4H candle closes. Yeah, no problem. Happy to help. Yeah, it definitely looks like Euro CHF is pushing on quite aggressively there. So yeah, pound CHF might do the same. But we'll see how they develop later on. Yeah, I'll be sure to look out for that, William. But yeah, thanks for joining the live stream. Um, and yeah, hopefully I see you again tomorrow. But yeah, have a good one. No problem, Chia. Happy to help. Happy to help, man. And thank you for joining the stream as well. But yeah, guys, it is coming to the end now, so I will look to wrap up the stream. Going to do a quick rundown on some of the pairs that I've got on my watch list that I'm looking for trades either later today or later this week. And then yeah, we'll look to end the live stream after that. But yeah, Euro USD, like I said, I'm looking for short opportunities. It looks like this pair is wanting to, well, this candle here is wanting to pull back quite nicely, which is a good sign that potentially, yeah, we could be still on for those shorts. Yeah, so Euro USD, I'm looking for shorts, but like I said, if it does start to break through this trend line again, I will just put it on the sidelines. If we can break through the lower trend line, that will be great. Then from there, I do see some nice shorts back down into 1.18400 and maybe even 1.18. If we do break through this trend line, then we might be pushing to the upside back into highs. Euro USD could be pushing, a lot further than that. We could really see a big breakout there. But we'll see what happens there for Euro USD over the next couple hours until the next 4H candle closes. Pound USD, another pair that I'm looking to short, but like I said, I want to see 4H candle not break through this resistance, pull back underneath. That will be great. So far, that 4H candle is quite bullish and it is above that resistance, obviously, but it still does have 2 hours to pull back and see if it can close underneath. And if it can do that, we'll be looking to short pound USD. I'm only going to pick one of those. I'm only going to pick one of those pairs, either pound USD or Euro USD. I'm not going to trade both. Two similar pairs for me to trade both. So, I'll see which ones give me the better opportunity. So far, it looks like Euro, just because Euro is weaker than pound. You can see Euro GBP is taking a nice dive. But yeah, we'll see what happens at 2 p.m. when the 4H candle closes. USD CAD is another pair that I'm looking to get involved in for some nice short opportunities. You can see this pair's had a really nice dive to the downside recently, consolidated another dive as well. So I'm looking for price to come up, retest the support there, which it didn't do. Retest the support, now we'll look to take it back down into this level here. So you can still see USD CAD still has a little bit of mileage left on it. So I still want to see a bit more upside first before I get interested. But if we can reject that pair, then we'll see a move to the downside. But if we do break through this resistance, Now we will be looking at this next area here to sell at and take it right back down to that level down there. So either way, looking to short USD CAD either at 1.24500 or 1.26 up there. And the fourth pair that I have my eyes on is pound CHF for selling opportunities as well. I still do see pound CHF coming into these lows here, but I did say I want to see a bit of retracement to the upside, come to this level here, retest it, nice double top. So first test there, second test, and then take some nice shorts back into these lows, targeting 1.25. Again, might not target all the way down to those lows because there's a chance that price could reverse before that, but we do have some nice key levels of support here as well, so could look to target around 1.25300 as well. So either way, looking for shorts for the pound CHF, but there is a possibility that price might not retrace into this area here, and it could potentially just fall to the downside from this resistance here. So if we do see a push to the downside happen, I'll wait for some retracement and then take it down some shorts. So either way, if I do get some opportunities for these pairs, I will let you guys know. Make sure you join my Telegram to be in the channel, of course. So when I do drop those alerts, you can be notified. But yeah, looking for some shorts for pound CHF, USD CAD, Euro USD, and pound USD. And if I do get opportunities, I will let you guys know. But those are the four pairs that I am focusing on this week so far. Yeah, Euro CHF is pumping to the downside quite aggressively there. I mean, like I said, in the higher time frames, price is very, very bearish here. So momentum is definitely with the bears here. So I definitely would not be looking to get long on this. But Euro CHF's definitely cleared that support, and we're looking at more downside. So yeah, and I'm expecting more strength as well for CHF. So that's another reason why I want to get short on pound CHF. So yeah, those are the pairs that I'm looking at. I will let you guys know on my Telegram if we do have any opportunities. But that has been the end of the live stream. So thank you everyone for joining. I really do appreciate that. I hope you found some value in the stream. Yeah, so I'm looking to short Euro USD for a push to downside. I wouldn't say Euro USD is a sell just yet, because we have closed slightly just above that trend line, and we could just be retesting that trend line to continue to the upside. So if that's the case, you clearly don't want to short that. I think the best opportunity for Euro USD is if we were to come back inside of this trend line here and see a break of the lower trend line and a retest. That will probably be the best opportunity to take Euro USD shorts. Of course, it wouldn't be the the best entry because price is obviously further down, but it's probably the safest entry there to take. So yeah, looking for more shorts for Euro USD, but if you do push on, we'll be staying away from that pair. But if I do get opportunity, I will be sure to let you guys know. So yeah, looking for shorts on Euro USD, shorts on pound USD if we can pull back down, shorts on USD CAD if you can push up into these zones there, and some shorts on pound CHF as well. So those are the four pairs I'm looking at. I will be live again tomorrow, so do feel free to join us again 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. GMT. We'll be live again tomorrow, so do feel free to check out the stream. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the content, and also subscribe to the channel if you want to see a lot more. Yeah, but thanks again for joining to the stream, guys. Do really appreciate all of you, and I hope I see you guys tomorrow.